Welcome everyone. Let us resume with part 2 of the poem The Tale of the Custard the Dragon. In the previous part, we already have done till paragraph number 4. So let us now start with paragraph number 5. Belinda tickled him. She tickled him unmerciful. Ink, Blink, and Mustard, they rudely called him Percival. They all sat laughing in the little red wagon and the realio trulio cowardly dragon. Belinda giggled. This is the next paragraph. Belinda giggled till she shook the house, and Blink said, "Weak," which is giggling for a mouse. Ink and Mustard rudely asked his age when Custard cried for a nice, safe cage. So let us see the explanation now. Paragraph 5 tells us, tickling you, I hope you all understand, when out of amusement, out of making somebody laugh, we stroke on some delicate parts of the body because from there people feel ticklish feeling. Here it means to tease. So Belinda, she used to stroke the dragon in a way which was very cruel, which was actually not amusing. She tickled him because she did not like this cowardly dragon, because out of all the pets she had, this dragon, Custard, was the meek and cowardly one. So Belinda used to tickle him so that she could amuse other pets in the family, in the house, and she tickled him unmerciful, which was a cruel way actually. It was not to have fun, it was not to make the Custard feel good, rather, it was to make others feel good and look down upon the cowardly dragon. And Ink and Blink and Mustard, the cat, the mouse, and the dog, they rudely called him Percival. Percival was a very brave knight from the army of King Arthur. Here, satirically, jokingly, they used to call him Percival, like we sometimes do when satirically we make fun of somebody, a person who otherwise is very cowardly and otherwise very meek and gentle will say, "Yeah, you are just like a lion, you are just like a tiger," because tiger and lion, they are known for their bravery and for their strength, whereas we are making a fun of that person. So in the similar way, they wanted to say that you are nowhere near the bravery of Percival, but they rudely called him Percival. They all sat laughing in the little red wagon, which I showed to you all in the previous explanation. Any wagon, you can understand, any carriage. So all the pets, along with Belinda, they used to sit in the little red wagon, which was dragged by, according to them, the really truly cowardly dragon. These are the literary devices that we came across in paragraph number 5. First, let's have a look at the rhyme scheme. It is A, A, B, B. Refrain, where the repetition of a sentence again, realia trulio. Repetition, use of the word tickled him. Allusion. Allusion we have read earlier while doing the poem Amanda, and I hope you remember, whenever in a literary work a reference to any known person, historical or political or religious, or a place is made, so we say allusion has been used. So while talking about Percival, an allusion has been made. Personification, when it is said that Ink, Blink, and Mustard, they rudely called him Percival. So all the pets actually, they have been personified because they laugh, because they weep, because they show their feelings, and they talk also. So that is why it is personification. Then let us now go ahead with the explanation of paragraph number 6. Belinda giggled. Giggling is laughing with showing all your teeth. So she giggled till she shook the house. Actually, it is exaggerated here. A little exaggeration is used just to give us a humorous impact, that When she used to tickle the dragon, she herself would giggle a lot, this much that even the house started shaking. And Blink said weak, which is giggling for a mouse. So the mouse, the cat, the dog, they all giggled together with Belinda, and the mouse made his own giggling sound that was weak. Ink and Mustard rudely asked his age. Ink, the cat, and Mustard, the dog, very rudely, out of not any sort of decency, they would ask Custard what age he was, meaning thereby simply that they wanted to make him feel how old he was, that he was always scared of every little thing. How could he be scared of every little thing after being so big and huge in size? So they just wanted to make him understand that their meaning was to say that he was behaving like a baby. When Custard cried for a nice safe cage, because Custard always used to demand for a nice safe cage, because he didn't want to lose the safety and comfort of the house. So for him nothing mattered but just to live in comfort. So that's why he always demanded a comfortable and safe cage to live in, which was always made fun of by other pets. These are the literary devices. Rhyme scheme again is A, and B. Onomatopoeia, we already have read about all these devices, but it's good that we keep on revising them whenever we are doing a new poem. Onomatopoeia is usage of sound words to create a dramatic effect, like giggled and weak. Repetition, Custard cried for a nice, safe cage. So this is repetition. Let us now go ahead with paragraph number 7. Suddenly, they heard a nasty sound, and Mustard growled, and they all looked around. Meow, cried Ink, and oh, cried Belinda, for there was a pirate climbing in the window. So, just to maintain the rhyme scheme and to give a dramatic effect and using the poetic license, the poet has changed the spelling of window to winda because he wanted to make it rhyme with Belinda winda. That's why he has very rightfully changed the spelling. Now, how did the pirate look like? Pistol in his left hand, pistol in his right, and he held in his teeth a cutlass bright. His beard was black, one leg was wood. It was clear that the pirate meant no good. Suddenly, they heard a nasty sound. Nasty, which is not very pleasant, which is very bad or mean was. So, when all of them were making fun of the dragon, Custard, they heard some sound which was not good enough. It was a sound of someone entering the house, as if someone was trying to break into their house. Listening to the slight sound, the dog Mustard started growling. As you can imagine, if you have pets at your home, I think by now everybody knows that pets, they make sound whenever they hear something strange. So when they looked towards the window, they saw a pirate climbing up the wall. The dog barked at him and the kitten meowed to him. Belinda cried, "Oh!" because all of them were scared of the pirate who was trying to climb through the window into Belinda's house. These are the literary devices. Rhyme scheme, you all can understand. Consonants, which is the use of consonant sound. S, suddenly, repetition also, where suddenly has been repeated. Onomatopoeia, usage of sound words to create a dramatic effect, like Mustard growling, meowch, cried. All these are onomatopic words. Poetic license, window is written as winda to create rhyme. Just imagine this kind of pirate, having rifle in both the hands and in his mouth cutlass bright means that very shining sharp sword he had in his mouth. One leg was made of wood and looked ferocious. So this kind of pirate, somebody who steals illegally, he was trying to mount up the window in Belinda's house. Next paragraph, pistol in his left hand, pistol in his right, and he held in his teeth a cutlass bright. His beard was black, one leg was wood. It was clear that the pirate meant no good. So the poet describes the appearance of the pirate. He says that the pirate was holding handguns in both his hands and a little sword too. Where was the sword? Teeth cutlass bright. A cutlass bright is a short sword with curved blades, which is known as cutlass bright. He was holding his sword with his teeth, so he was very fearless kind of pirate. He had a black beard and his one leg was made of wood. In one of the misadventures, he might have got his leg amputated somehow, so one leg was made of wood. This means that though the pirate was disabled person, but still he was frightening all the other characters. And after looking at his appearance and the way he was coming to all of them, anybody could understand that he intended to harm them. He meant no good, means he was really not a good person to deal with. Literary devices again, rhyme scheme, alliteration, beard was black, B has been repeated. Imagery, an image is created about the appearance of the pirate. Now let us go ahead with the next paragraph number 9. Belinda paled and she cried, "Help! Help!" But Mustard fled with a terrified yelp. Ink trickled down to the bottom of the household, and little Mouse blinked strategically. Mousehold. See how beautiful rhyme scheme and musicality the poet has brought in order to make us understand everything, that those who boast, they may not necessarily be as brave or as good as they keep on bragging about themselves and their power and their strength. So, when Belinda saw that a pirate was coming to her house through the window, she cried for help. But instead of giving any help to her, Mustard, who was Mustard? The dog. Mustard himself started crying for help. The kitten Ink ran down towards the bottom of the house, towards the basement, as if he had already planned for it. And the mouse, little mouse, Blink, strategically mousehold. Mousehold means mouses, we know that they live in holes. So the mouse went and he ran into the little mouse hole in order to save himself. So actually, none of the pets, those who used to claim and boast that they were fiercer and braver than the lions, they could hunt the lions, actually they were themselves very weak and very timid, because it is only in the times of need and necessity when we come to know about the true colors of anybody. So these three, they showed their true colors by running away. These are the literary device. It's rhyme scheme, transferred epithet, terrified yelp. Yelping is a sound made by somebody when somebody shouts. When somebody is shouting, it is, how can the shout be terrified yelp? Repetition of help and help, poetic license, where the use of the word mouse hold, HOLD, hold to household, it has to made to rhyme with it. So these are the literary devices used here. It's paragraph number 10 now. But up jumped Custard, snorting like an engine, clashed his tail like irons in a dungeon. With a clatter and a clank and a jangling squirm, he went at the pirate like a robin at a worm. Let us have a look at some of the word meanings before we explain the paragraph. Snorting means making a sudden explosive sound through one's nose. Clashed, fort, dungeon, which is underground prison. Clatter clank, sound of hard object falling on the earth. And jangling squirm, sound of hard object falling on each other. And robin is a bird. So let's explain it now. When all the other characters that were earlier defined as very brave, Ink, Blink, and Mustard, they got frightened. The dragon, who was considered to be cowed by everybody else, unexpectedly he came and he jumped onto the pirate and made such a strong sound with his nose as if The engine was producing a sound. Remember the line? But up jumped Custard, snorting like an engine. Snorting like an engine. It is simile used here, where the snorting of the dragon has been compared to an engine making sounds. Not only this, he clashed his tail like irons in a dungeon. Like, imagine a prisoner who's been caught up in heavy iron chains, and when the chains hit the ground, kind of sound they make. So, tail like iron in dungeon, another simile is used here. And with a clatter and clank and a jangling squirm. So many sound words: clatter, clank, jangling, squirm. So, when the all these sound words, they were produced by the metal being rubbed against each other in the underground prison. He attacked the pirate just like a robin bird pounces on worms to catch them and to eat them. So he went at the pirate like a robin at a worm. He, the Custard, the dragon, has been compared to Robin the bird, and pirate has been compared to a worm. These are the literary devices: simile in line number 1, 2, and 4, and onomatopoeia in line number 3. So many literary devices are in this poem, and for the rest of the paragraphs, we'll see in the next